Okay, here it comes. Okay.
I want to start this off by saying Fed was the first friend I felt like I made it offline TV. He was very welcoming and I spent the most time with him out of everyone. We got along really well and quickly became really good friends. We would go on late night food runs and watched movies together in my room since I had a TV. He fell asleep frequently there and it became a pretty normal thing. We always stayed on our sides of the bed and nothing ever really happened until it did. I was lying in bed with all the lights off. The door opened and Fed came in, drunk from going out that night. He crawled into my bed and lay there for a bit. Then he grabbed my hand and held it, and I didn't move at all cause I was shocked. He then brushed my hand against his cheek and kissed it after.
Okay, this is weird.
I was still in a state of shock, trying to process what's happening, because this guy is supposed to be my friend. He also knew I had a boyfriend at the time. Next, he stuck his hand inside my sleeve and touched my side next to my chest. And although it wasn't exactly my chest, it was close enough to make me feel extremely uncomfortable and feel like that was not a place where a friend should be touching me. I still couldn't move at this point, and in my head I was just begging for him to not go any further, praying he would stop there. He did, retracted his hand, and made it seem like he was sleeping. 10 minutes later he woke up and said, "Whoa, how'd I get here?" I asked, "Do you remember anything?" And he said no and left my room.
Okay, dude. Okay, well, I mean, dude, this is just, yeah, I think there's like a lot to dissect here, dude. But even in and out of context, this is just fucking weird. I don't think there's much of a... I'm not gonna use Brian. How do you want me to use Brian? I can't use Brian. Guys, how do you want me to use Brian? How am I weird? I think this is fine. Yeah, on this website. No, because this is gonna make the... Okay.
The next day I went up to his room and asked if he remembered what happened last night. He said no. I told myself that if he forgot, then maybe he didn't know what he was doing because he was drunk, and I didn't want to bring it up because I didn't want to make it weird between us. A few weeks later, I was lying in bed again, and he came and drunk again. He lay down next to me and told me he was sorry for what happened last time, and that he overstepped boundaries. So then I thought to myself, did he remember this whole time, and lied about it? I didn't say anything, and 10 minutes later, he did it again, minus the t-shirt part.
What does that mean?
Again, I'm scared to say anything and he fell asleep next to me. The next day he also acted like nothing ever happened, and I asked him at some point if he remembered anything, and he said no, again.
Okay, chat, listen. Guys, this is like okay, this is like a person-to-person basis, okay? I personally, I rarely lose memory when I drink, and I get fucked up, okay? Listen, chat, you guys know this, okay? When I drink, I get fucked up, like, really fucked up. And I rarely lose memory. And I go way off the wagon. But I know that some people do lose memory, right? But to this extent, I don't know, dude. Guys, I personally don't buy it. I don't buy it because I feel like you could shape this for your own narrative or your own reasons. But it could also be true, so I don't know. But personally, I don't buy it. But that's just a personal opinion. I'm not gonna try to wave you guys' opinion into it, dude. That's just what I feel like. Because I don't lose memory that much, dude. It is what it is. Okay, next. And there's a lot to unpack here. Holy shit, let's go paragraph by paragraph. Chat, I don't make this like a drama stream, but this is kind of like a big deal, dude. I kind of want to go over it, you know? Like this is a big deal.
I kept this secret to myself for a very long time. The only people I could tell were my boyfriend at the time and a close friend of mine, and out of respect for me they didn't tell anyone. I felt like if I told anyone at OTV, the world would come crashing down, and that OTV would die/cease to exist, so I never did. I minimized it a lot, and carried on throughout my days as usual, but small things in me started changing without me realizing it. I started avoiding Fed more, I went from hanging out with him all the time to almost never. I tunneled into League because it felt easy to be busy in a game so he couldn't talk to me or bother me. It became the easiest way to avoid him, being addicted to a game.
Okay, that's relatable on multiple... Yeah, Chad, this is relatable on like multiple fronts, I feel like. I think any beginner understands this. I think this is very standard behavior to bury yourself into a game so nobody bothers you. It's standard. I used to do a lot.
One day I told him what happened between us, and he said he didn't remember / know it happened. He proceeded to say he was a horrible person, and I felt bad and started comforting him. I will always remember that one of the first things he asked me after he found out was, "Did you tell anyone?" and proceeded to panic when he felt like people could know. I also told him that my boyfriend at the time, Sean, doesn't blame him and knows he isn't a bad person deep down, in which he responded, "Yeah, it's in his best interest not to." Which it wasn't, by the way. Sean is just a super nice guy who tried to be understanding and give him the benefit of the doubt.
What?
He said all these things but never once did he apologize to me after learning about the situation that he forgot. Thinking back, his thought process was super messed up, because he was more worried about people finding out, than how he hurt me.
Okay. Chat, I'm not gonna tolerate this, dude. I'm not gonna see the guys say cucked. That is just fucking weird. It's not really cuck, dude. It's more like if he cares about the person that he's with, if he cares about Yvonne, right? That's what he meant by like you know? Yeah. If he cares about her well-being, like all he cares about, dude, is that he loves her and that she's happy. It's not about being cucked. It's about, you know, that's what he cares about, yo. In context, I feel like. So whatever. Also, this. What does that even mean? What does that mean? It's in his best interest not to. Right? Like, what the fuck is this? What does that even mean, dude? That sounds like almost like threatening. Dude, that sounds threatening. Like, yeah, like, that's trash. Yeah, this is like a power dynamic for 100%. That's what I feel like.
I minimized it so much, that I would forget at times it even happened in the first place. It was weird cause there were certain times where he could trigger me, but other times seeing him was fine. It triggered me when he'd knock on my door, barely waiting, and despite no response he'd just come in. I remember I tried locking my door a few times and he gave me a hard time for doing so. "Why the fuck is your door locked?" Multiple times where he'd come in at night without me saying he could. Everyone else in the house always knocks and waits for a response, but not him. It also triggered me whenever he'd walk into my room, jump into my bed and start going on his phone, but again I minimized, and honestly felt really bad for feeling that way towards him.
Okay, chat, listen. I'm not gonna act like I was there, dude, or I'm like even part of this remotely, dude. Okay? But if they had this, even if they had a fraction of any of this interaction or discussion after the fact, dude, like, I feel like you would know 100% through normal social cues that the other person isn't giving you the cues of like excitement when they knock on the door, or excitement when you like. Always the person isn't reciprocating like the excitement of sight or the woo, like the friendship of being around, and that's like a huge social. Isn't that like a huge social cue? Like, you know, like it's not explicit. You just fucking know, dude. When you fucked up, right? There's always a little bit of pushback. It's always, you have to grind the cogs, like to get, you know. And you should feel that, I feel like. So I don't know. Alright, let's continue.
I kept this all to myself mostly because I didn't want to ruin the peace. I wanted to avoid the situation, and I thought he would change after what happened with me. He didn't. He proceeded to overstep boundaries with other girls in our friend group, and each girl kept it to themselves cause they would just think, oh, it's just Fed, or he was just lonely/drunk. He even did it to Lily. She gave me permission to share this. When she was going through her hard breakup with Albert, Fed also walked into her room while she was drunk. She was laying down and he asked if she wanted a massage. She said sure, and he started off massaging her leg, and then up her thighs. A week or so later, he was drunk and laid down next to her, and told her he liked her. She then felt uncomfortable with everything, and he asked her to not tell anyone what happened. Again, thinking back, it felt like he tried to take advantage of Lily when she was in a really vulnerable state.
Okay, yeah, this is just fucking weird, dude. Do you have to be honest? Guys, this is just fucking weird, dude. Guys, I feel like at this point, listen guys, just by reading all three of these paragraphs, it's almost like the person has established a pattern where he knows that he can get drunk, do something, and hide behind, I don't remember, lol. And now it's like using the scenario and emulating it. And that's so fucking weird, dude. Like it's not a pattern that should be used ever. Like that's just like a, like, if anything, that's a problem. Like, what if that happens? I don't know, maybe you guys have had this before. If you lose memory, it's uncomfortable, it's annoying, you hate it. Unless you purposely do things that you don't like when you're drunk, whatever. Like, it's like, dude, I don't remember this, it sucks. Having a hole of memory makes you feel like you're going insane. It's unpleasant, you don't want to have it again. So doing it on purpose and then using that, it's wrong double time. So I don't even know why this is even brought up. Like, it's so stupid. Like obviously the person shouldn't be doing this.
One night the girls were hanging out together, and when the topic of Fed came up, we realized we all had...
Wait, hold up. And even worse than that, dude, if you know you're doing this, and it happens to you often, you should purposely be careful not to do shit like that. Because that's when the weird shit happens, and that's when, like, things go wrong. So why would you purposely put yourself in a state that things can go wrong, and you can lose control and lose memory? You should do your best to avoid this shit, dude.
One night the girls were hanging out together, and when the topic of Fed came up, we realized we all had our stories about him. Whether it was him lying about certain situations to be in his favor, or lying to us about girls leading him on when he was the one who got rejected, or manipulating us to have certain ideas of people/situations. Pokey especially suffered a lot from this, and I'll let her explain if she chooses to do so.
Okay. Wait, really? Damn, I think they kind of like lumps her in on purpose. I mean, okay, guys. In of itself, this statement is kind of like, if she chooses to do so, well, now it's kind of too late to ask, because now she's kind of like lumped in already. So I don't know about this, but sure. Moving on. I mean, now she's already lumped in, so I mean, okay.
The stories shared were mainly of Fed overstepping boundaries, being overly touchy, in which we all thought were just Fed things. We thought it was fine because we told ourselves that's just how he is. As we shared each of our stories, we realized it was not fine. When all the sexual harassment/abuse stories started coming out on Twitter, my coping mechanism just broke. I couldn't minimize it anymore, and I suddenly felt everything that happened crashing down on me all at once. I couldn't ignore it any longer, and realized what happened was not okay. It couldn't be swept under the rug. I didn't want to see him, talk to him, or work with him. The pattern of problematic behavior led us to decide that we needed to have an intervention with him to get him to realize he needs to change for the better.
Yeah, no
so
shit.
we all sat down together as a group, and everyone started sharing with Fed how he once hurt them. It was extreme.
Guys, this is really bad. Guys, since the story is within TTS, I almost have this anger toward TTS, and I'm answering to the information like somebody's donating, and it gets me mauled. It's really bad. Next, I'm not going to use the grind anymore.
With a lot of crying, and at the end of it he seemed very apologetic and understood what he had done wrong. This was the first time he apologized to me about everything, and it did feel really nice to hear. I genuinely felt super happy that it seemed like Fed was very accepting of everything and willing to be better. I wasn't planning on releasing any statement from my end, but unfortunately his behavior since then made me feel like he wasn't really sorry. His actions and words showed he was still avoiding responsibility, that his priority was still himself and his career, versus being a better person and resolving the hurt he caused us.
Okay, listen chat. This is another thing, okay chat? I want people not to go crazy if one of these instances happens on its own and it's alone. A standalone one of these things, it's not the best, it's not the worst, right? It's kind of trash, but there can be some sort of like, dude, I misread the situation. Fuck, it's trash, and you can work around it. Even just a small thing, it's really bad. But like, it's kind of like, dude, I misread it. You know, shit happens. Now I know, and I can't be wrong anymore. It's not gonna happen because now I get it. But obviously, this is like a crazy established pattern. Not only a pattern, but also it's reinforced to the point where it's optimized. See, this is different because it's literally optimized to where it's like min-maxed, so the strat works even better. And that's like, that's malicious, yo. Maybe I'm wrong about this. I hope this is not a bad take. But since this happens so often, and he puts himself in positions to make it work, it's optimized. So this is like 10 times worse. Didn't it? Right.
The stories shared were mainly of Fed overstepping boundaries.
Oh, sorry.
My intention for this statement is not to destroy him, but to warn other girls about his behavior, and how he pushes boundaries using alcohol as an excuse for his actions.
Yeah.
He needs to be held accountable for his actions, learn from his mistakes, and not avoid them like how he was trying to again this time around.
Okay, guys, I can't reach out like this chat. You guys, I'm saying it. Yeah, but actually, there's no proof. Actually, the evidence doesn't line up. Oh, shut the fuck up. Dude, listen, like I said, if this was one isolated behavior, one that happened once, right? If it was super exposed, it wouldn't be too crazy. Okay? But since there's a lot of people and there's combined effort across the board and a confession later on, but even without confession, it wouldn't matter. Because it's enough, dude. Having a bunch, why would people, you need to think about the opposite. Why would people fucking collude against him as a group? That's fucking stupid. Nobody does that shit.
I don't think Fed is a bad person, but we all made excuses for his behavior for a long time now because we truly loved him as a friend. Even despite all this, ultimately what I'd want in the end would be to see him taking steps towards getting help, and striving to be a better person.
Okay. Next.
/ a few things I would like people to keep in mind. Everyone in OTV helped me immensely throughout all this. They went through great measures to make sure I was okay and that I would be okay in the future as well. When they learned of this, they never asked me to be silent. In fact, they tried their best to stand up for me and speak for me when I didn't know how to approach this. They made me feel comfortable and empowered to speak my truth, because I would have felt too scared otherwise. It may not be possible, but I would like it if people could refrain from shitting on OTV/negative comments.
That's not gonna happen. Yeah.
I would appreciate that a lot because everyone there helped me the most throughout this entire thing. It would really hurt to read awful comments towards the people I tried so hard to protect. Lastly, please remember that Fed is human, and refrain from extremely hurtful comments that I know he is going to receive. Words can have a very scary impact, and again I want to emphasize that my intention with this statement is not to destroy him. I just felt a strong need to speak my truth and put a warning out there to other women until he does get better. I don't believe he's a bad person deep down. He is someone that even to this day I can't help but care about, and things would honestly be a lot easier if I didn't.
Yeah, that's problematic though. That's like a double-edged sword, dude. It's because some people are like, they'll end up being like really like likable, dude, and they have a personality that makes you be on their side or something like that. So when they do fucked up shit, you know you can't feel against them or whatever, and it becomes really hard to fucking take action or whatever, dude. That really fucking sucks. Right. Well, chat, I knew this was fucked up when I heard about it, but I didn't read the whole thing, and this is like this is really fucked up.
I want to start off this statement by apologizing for my absence the past few days. Earlier this week, some of my friends sat me down and expressed that I had on several occasions made them feel uncomfortable or uneasy.
In lives of recent events, this pained me greatly, as it was not and has never been my intention to hurt those closest to me. I fully understand the importance of having their voice heard, and I believe it should take a step back and give them space and listen to their story. I've made it a point this year to be better, and as I often mention, guys, I can't, dude. I'm trying to take more responsibility in my life. I owe it to both my friends and everyone who supports me to own up to my actions, and that starts by listening to those I've heard. I want to make it clear that my intentions were never to act maliciously or predatorily. I am flawed. I have issues and peanut friendships. Their stories, okay? What about Lily's? Well, she has one too. Guy, this is a long text. Holy shit. I want to make a small comment about all this shit, and this will almost come out as dating advice, okay, for absolute degenerates like me, because I know some of you guys are probably just as degenerate or more, okay? Guys, I don't give a fuck, okay? Chat, I don't need to worry about saying the right thing here. It's easy to say the right things. That's just it's what I do, okay? This will come out. This is almost like a dating advice, okay? I misread sometimes, and I'm bad at social cues, okay? And I'm not the best with women, okay? So when it comes down to it, I don't give a fuck, because my mindset is, okay, I'm just gonna ask. It sounds really bad, but I always ask, to the point like I'm about to like get a kissy. I'll be like, can I do this? Okay? And like, can I put my hand there or whatever? Or like, I always ask, okay? And yeah, it becomes like really bad sometimes. It's kind of awkward or whatever. But my theory is that if some girl is into you, you asking isn't gonna be the deal breaker to not getting the juice. That's my philosophy. Is that if I'm at that point in the interaction, I'm already far enough that asking won't do shit. And it won't break the moment that much. And for experience, my track record is that most girls find it sweet and good, and they like it. So I've never had pushback or awkwardness from it, and I've always been rewarded for it. And I'm always gonna do it, because I don't think I'll ever master the social cues good enough that I can make moves out of the blue and be comfortable with it. And I'm okay with missing out on juice and missing out on like interactions or like good moments because I was too careful. Because I don't really, it's not that I don't trust myself, I just don't trust my skill set. So if you're kind of like this, dude, I encourage you to take that approach. It's why sometimes I read those things and I can't relate for shit. So I'm like, dude, I wouldn't do this. Like, what the fuck is that? People don't already do this? Well, sometimes Twitch chats are kind of like, oh, dude, that's rap. That's rap because didn't get consent. But sometimes, dude, like all the things point at something. It's kind of like, dude, you know, consent is whatever, dude. Like the person's not gonna fucking sign a paper or some shit. You know, sometimes things are extremely intended. It ramps up. It's like you get like physical approval Okay? There's something people don't really talk about that much. Physical approval. Like, body language of okays and shit. Okay? But also, shit that people don't read into is the exact opposite. It's the physical disapproval. And some of these guys that I'm reading are so fucking bad at this, I can't believe that they're doing this unwillingly. I don't buy into it. I think they're brain dead for thinking that they can do this, and people are gonna believe them that they don't read into physical disapprovals. Like, oh, if you move your arms like that, and there's even 1 inch of pressure against your arm, yo, that's no, you degenerate. You can feel it. Yo, you have sensors on your fucking fingers. You know when there's pressure against it, dude. Don't be a dumbass. Oh, I didn't know, dude. Oh, I drunk. Fuck off, dude. What is that? Guys, I'll read into this, then we're gonna wrap it up.
Toggle navigation twit longer LilyPichu Lily middle dot at LilyPichu 28th of June 2020.
June 7, probably not wanting to be shared anymore.
My story, I debated writing this for a very long time. My relationship ended with George in May 2017. It was not the best relationship and I went through a lot of stuff during that time period as well. He has since apologized and we have found closure.
Guys, I'll read it and I'll read her statement about it. And it'll correct it.
I went to an event and met up with Chris there. I told him everything that had happened in my previous relationship.
This is Chris Chanto,
Chris
right?
took it upon himself to immediately call up friends. That same night, while George was out, we gathered up all my things and swiftly moved everything to the OfflineTV house. I remember feeling a little scared, nervous, and sad.
Chat. Guys, this won't last very long, okay? I'm going through this, okay? Like I said, he's not like John did, just give it a minute. Then George went out, we get out my things and swiftly moved everything to the OfflineTV house. I remember feeling scared, nervous, and sad. Okay. Okay. Yeah, chat. There's a lot of things that I relate to, but I don't really relate to that much. Like if yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
That's roughly when I joined OfflineTV. Chris offered up his room for me as well, and he became my manager. I was so grateful, and I still am, to this day, for introducing me to what I consider a second family. I enjoyed his company and I felt like I had someone genuinely looking out for me. It was all very new and exciting. I felt myself getting better and better every day since the breakup. That same month, Chris gave me an opportunity for a sponsorship in Taiwan.
Holy shit.
I wanted to know who else would go. He told me xQcOW would go as well, so I agreed to the sponsorship. A week before flying out to Taiwan, I found out xQcOW couldn't go, but I had already signed the contract.
Oh, chat.
Chris and I flew to Taiwan by ourselves.
Holy
Nevertheless,
fuck.
I found the opportunity exciting. I was vlogging. We went to night markets. We had good food. And we drank one night. I'm
just kind of a pussy, dude. When it comes to contracts, dude, with like companies or sponsors, dude, if I don't feel good about something anymore, fuck it, dude. I just fuck it. I pull out straight up.
When it was time to go back,
dude,
we dropped our friend off and headed to our hotel rooms. I was very drunk, and so was he. I tried looking for my hotel card key and couldn't find it, so he said to just come over to his room, which was right next door. I went to his room instead, and he told me I could rest for a while on his bed. I agreed, and laid down. This is really hard to write.
Guys, Disney had a good point about this, okay? Some people will say, oh dude, the person should have just moved, the person should have just gone away, just say no, why didn't they do anything? Guys, Disney said something good about this. He said, you know, just like in that scene in the Zodiac, whatever, like, sometimes there's a little bit of red flag, a little bit of a red flag, a little bit of red flag, this, that, this, and these things, and you, until the boom happens or whatever, dude, right? Does that make sense? Okay, I'll go through this later. I don't want to fucking misremember the story because we,
I remember the lights turning off, and I remember him taking off his pants. I remember him next to me, legs and arms wrapped around me. It was like that for hours.
Guys, doesn't this guy have a fucking wife, dude?
I remember his legs were hairy and I remember how disgusted I felt. In the morning, he acted like nothing was wrong. I was confused. I messaged my closest friends at the time crying, because it felt wrong and weird. I got depressed again. He noticed something felt off and messaged me first, claiming he did not remember much because he was drunk. We exchanged a few emails. I told him how disappointed and sad I was. He told me he was in a long-distance relationship, he was engaged, and he was going through problems too.
Guys, what the fuck is up with OfflineTV and getting blacked out drunk on purpose to not remember shit? What the fuck is up with these people, man? What the fuck is wrong with these people, dude? Holy shit! Dude, what's up with these people's livers? Are they for like 1B Randy's like blackout juice? Like, what the fuck is this? This is like unacceptable, dude.
The flight back was silent. The house had no idea why I avoided Chris after that. Why I could never make eye contact with him without cringing because I vividly remembered that night. I changed my manager because I couldn't stand looking at him. I didn't know what to do. I was new there. I thought if I pushed it down, I could get over it. I didn't want to cause problems.
Jesus, dude. Dude, not remembering chat. That's just like, come on, man.
He called a house meeting one day in June. I remember I was shaking. I was anxious. I wanted to know if he was going to tell the truth to everyone. We all sat down, and I still couldn't meet eye contact. He announced his tattoo. He was going to quit drinking forever and wanted everyone to know. He didn't say anything else. It didn't make me feel much better, to be honest. I went to his wedding that summer.
Chat, you guys, listen. I'm pretty sure he probably didn't. He probably doesn't remember this, right? He probably doesn't remember this either, or this, or that, or any of this shit. Because he was probably blacked out again, right? Holy fuck.
I played piano there.
Always blacked out these people, man.
I became friends with Pekka afterward, and I lived with the discomfort and guilt for years. I secretly celebrated when he announced he was going to move out.
That's it. Oh, Pekka is this guy's girlfriend or wife, right? I seriously celebrated when he announced he was gonna move out. Oh, okay, I get it now. So she's happy that he's gonna get the fuck out. Makes sense. Yeah, dude. Guys, this kind of all makes sense though. Like, 770 moves out. I don't know. I don't want to act like I know.
When Albert cheated on me November of last year, I spiraled into depression again. A week later, I was still hurting very badly. I drank one night. Fed came into my room and asked if I wanted a massage. I agreed. He massaged my legs, from my feet to my upper thighs. He came to my room again, drunk, and laid on my bed. He said he liked me. He started to visit me a lot. I was confused because I always saw Fed as a good friend, and it hadn't even been 2 weeks since Albert cheated on me. I gently shut him down, and started to avoid him for the next few weeks because I felt a little uncomfortable. He eventually got over it, and asked me not to tell anyone.
What the fuck? Also, dude, guys, I'm not like the fucking sensual situation guru, dude. But, dude, you don't, dude, I feel like if it's like a normal thing, like, you don't initiate a massage from legs to upper thighs straight up. Like, what the fuck? But what the fuck do I know, dude?
When the incident with Yvonne happened, I admit I minimized that too at first. To acknowledge the severity of it would force me to acknowledge what had happened to me as well with Chris. And I couldn't deny Fed had a questionable history with girls in our circle. I didn't want to confront the fact that our good friend would be capable of this. I didn't want to bring up more problems.
Hold up. I'm seeing people saying, dude, why even do a massage or why even let him massage? I see a lot of people that are saying this in chat. They're saying, dude, why let him or why do a massage? Guys, you guys don't understand some of the complex dynamics between friends sometimes and certain interactions. Sometimes, even in some fucking pro teams of any esports, players do each other like massage sometimes. Okay, yeah, okay. You guys are gonna question mark me. Okay, depending on the dynamics. Okay, massages can be fine between a friend and another, a teammate and another, depending how like playful as like friends they are and how comfortable they are in their friendship. Massage. I'm not saying like massage my balls. Yeah, massage my butt crack. No, chill the fuck out, dude. And then like, you know, hey man, yo, when, you know, what are you doing? You know, and you know, back thing, back shoulder blade. Hey man, you know, it's fine, man. Nothing wrong with that. And you guys have seen, I'm pretty sure the Korean players in Overwatch, they did that to each other sometimes. Sometimes. Pretty often it happens. Okay, I know what you guys are on about. Massages are fine. They're not. Massages don't include sexual acts and weird fucking hand maneuvers. That's not included in. That's a premium package that only premium members get to do. Not fucking randos.
I see in retrospect, I have a habit of minimizing things that happen to me or even my friends. When Albert cheated on me, I initially wanted to keep that a secret to protect him. I have always seen OfflineTV as a family, which is why it hurts a lot to type this out. I've seen the amount of hate Albert received, and I don't want anyone to go through that. But Yvonne's feelings and experiences are valid, and I don't want to invalidate them.
Okay, last part. Albert, what the fuck is he doing now, dude? Albert Andy, fucking magician.
I've been reminded constantly of my own experiences these past few weeks, and I feel like I've always tried to protect people to keep the peace. It bubbles up relentlessly, again and again, and now it's all out, for good or bad. It hurts because I still care about Fed. Sometimes I live with residual sadness and resentment from the past, and sometimes I'm just not strong enough. I wish I had said this sooner so I didn't have to bottle in so much bitterness over the years. I had friends to support me, but I was too afraid and cautious back then. I hope by doing this I can fully move on with a clean slate and perhaps give perspective to others who may be going through similar things. Thank you for reading.
From chat. Dude, I have to be honest, some of this shit is just straight up like inexcusable. Guys, is Fred banned? Guys, I've always like skipped Fred's posts on like live stream fails and whatever. I wasn't like a bit like I'm not one of those guys who will like something, and when something bad happened, I'll be like, I never liked their shit. Well, I've been consistent about this. I never really liked OfflineTV. Okay, no bias. Okay, don't get mad at me. And I never liked Fred's content. Okay, but I'm not like against him. But is he banned or something? Is Fred banned? No. Then, okay.
What? Why are you exaggerating? It's just a fucking hug, dude. You don't want to hug me?
No, that's not. Sorry, reaction.
I'm your fucking roommate, dog. What the fuck?
You guys, even in context, even out of context. Okay, this is just trash. Jesus. Okay. Well, we're done with that. Fed, I know you're a good person. I'm both shocked and disappointed this happened. I don't believe in OTV. Takes time me, grows a person. I know you're a good person. Yeah, what the fuck is this? I know you're a good person. You don't fucking know him at all. That's the whole point. You know an idea that is presented to you via a form of clips, stream persona, and other things. Yeah, true, man. I wouldn't want to be validated for stupid shit that I do or something generally bad, okay? Because of people's liking of the content, yo. I'm sure that some of y'all motherfuckers, okay, are smart enough to separate what I do from who I am, okay? Because some people, sometimes they mix them together. Oh, dude, you're a good person. Fuck you, dude. I play games at the computer, man. This guy.
Not get attached to someone like you. Just treat it like you would treat the TV show Mad Men. I mean, you can, you know, like you shouldn't form a relationship with me. At the end of the day, I'm entertainment. If I stop entertaining, you stop watching. That's it. That's what I want from you guys. If I'm ever a resident sleeper, I want you to stop watching me because I'm not your friend. I will never, ever hang out with you and I don't.
Guys, I will hang out with you. And if you're watching this, dude, okay, and his stream sucks, you can come to mine. I'll take care of you, dude. All you dance around that you deserve.
Care
okay?
about you because I don't know you. I can't.
Okay, dude,
there are 13,000 people here. I can't care about all of you because I don't know any of you. So all I do is I turn on Twitch. I treat you like a coherent body of people, and I stream to entertain. That's all I do. And you have to recognize that. I'm not. Even if you drop a primer, yes. Even if you drop a primer, I still ain't your homie.
Okay. Amen. I mean, chat, there are certain dynamics that aren't like homey, that aren't completely like one viewer in chat. Like some of you guys are like more like often chatters, something like that, or like sometimes like I'll answer DMs because you know, like there are a couple viewers that do shit for the stream, right? That I talk to. There's about like I think 40 of you guys that I talk to off stream. Yeah, there's a bunch. Okay, so I never go to all out because I don't want to, you know, to disappoint them when I don't answer or whatever. But yeah, it happens. Chat, does that mean that that OfflineTV is completely cancelled now? Chat, does that mean that OTV is GG? Guys,
Smile.
Pokey's leaving. Shit's happening, dude. Let me just read this out. Chat, I'm actually interested about this. Chat, this is last thing, okay, chat? Last thing about all this, and then we're gonna do other shit and then play games.
I actually haven't logged into Twitter in months and got myself locked out, but I just want to put my voice out here if anyone is reading this. I trust my husband 100% and also don't want to diminish Lily's feelings, but many facts from her statement have been misconstrued or misunderstood to paint an extremely negative picture of Chris. First of all, he has already acknowledged and apologized to Lily privately immediately after the incident. Words like rapist and sexual predator are completely used out of context here, and I hope everyone can refrain from pushing that narrative. I am privately clarifying other points with Lily right now, and we'll have a more detailed statement later.
Dude, I don't...
Again, I am not dismissed.
Guys, I have to be honest with you, chat. I don't agree with all this at all. Even, chat, even if I don't know shit about any of this, dude, you can not be a sexual predator and do predator moves or like do things that are predator like. Okay, it's kind of like when somebody does something that is very culturally insensitive, but that doesn't make him like a racist sometimes, but still it's a pattern of behavior, dude. Like I feel like there's like a big lump of blame that you're trying to like shave off or something. Like, dude, it's not. Like, chill out.
Sing Lily's feelings of discomfort or pain, I just want to clarify some of her wording and help her ease the misunderstandings. Please don't say stuff like, wow, I'm so sorry for Becca. I trust Chris completely. He has always owned up to his mistakes. He has always been trying to improve himself. He has always been truthful with me. Our relationship has always been strong, and we are looking forward to raising our child together. I would never forgive him if there were intentions beyond a misunderstanding. And once these have been clarified with Lily, we'll put out a statement.
Oh, I don't like this at all. Chat, dude, I'm seeing like a lot of like positivity, whatever, towards some of this shit, dude. Dude, I don't think I agree with some of this. Once these have been clarified with Lily, no, you don't clarify. Like, what the fuck, guys? This puts a lot of this puts a lot of space and a big gap that can be filled with like gaslighting and shit. There's like a lot to like maneuver here, dude. Oh, I'll take some time to maneuver around the things, you know, I don't like this. And also, what is she gonna clarify? She wasn't there. What? Like, technically, if he's like her manager, okay, and his room and her room isn't working, okay, book another room. There's no like going to my room and sleep on my bed. Like, what the fuck is this? I feel that's like a last resort type of thing, dude. He says.
Lily, Becca and I had a discussion after her story went out. We agreed details were mistakenly left out that painted the situation differently, which led to parts being taken out of context. Lily has removed the post herself. I did not ask her, and I appreciate her gesture.
See, I don't like the way they're proceeding with this. I'm not a big fan of it. I feel like they should be like a paper trail, or like something like a conversation gives too much space for like possible manipulation and gaslighting. So I'm not a big fan of this. Okay, Elise says I was selfish, but I already talked about it privately before. There's no need to go public. I thought I'd help others, but I was wrong. Sorry for it. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, chat, I'm done with all this. I'm done with all this. We'll see what happens next, dude.